Do you think The Rock or Oprah or Elon Musk takes any time out of their day to comment something mean or hurtful on someone's Instagram post or tweet or say something mean to someone else? Fuck no. They're way too busy being successful and running shit and being happy and spreading love and cool stuff. Like, I feel like I could almost end it right there. uh, I mean, that's the basis of what this podcast is going to be about, or YouTube video if you're on YouTube. Thank you for so much for tuning in. This is episode 17 of the Intermurnane podcast. This episode is how to deal with hate, and I'm going to be talking through a few different topics related to it. Not the least of which is that people who are hating are usually not happy or very successful. Because if you can spend any amount of time trying to bring someone else down or putting hate out into the world, you have nothing better to do. Like, it's almost all you have to know. And it's the thing that I keep in mind that helps me the most is that because I get a decent amount of negative comments on things, like it's not a ton, but 10% maybe, I don't know, 5%, or it feels like that because you notice, the negative ones a lot more. But when that does happen, I feel empathy towards them and think like, they're commenting these things or saying these things or DMing these things, and whatever they're saying, whatever negativity that it seems like they're trying to push onto me, all that they're really saying is I'm not happy. I'm not happy. There's not much going on in my life. So I'm trying to bring myself some feeling of joy, or I don't know if joy is the right word, but just bring other people down to my level, basically. And there's a corny quote: if someone's trying to bring you down, it means they're already below you. It's super corny, as I mentioned, but I think it is something important to keep in mind that people who are successful and happy and seemingly above you, not that anyone's above or below anyone, we're all equal, all the universe experiencing itself, but for those who are, they're typically trying to bring people up. They're never wasting time trying to bring people down. So that's basically the crux of it. Another thing I like to keep in mind is that when someone says something mean or hurtful or acts in a certain way towards you, or brings hate on you, it seems like it has something to do with you because maybe they're saying it in a way that's directed towards you and has something seemingly to do with you, or saying something about you. So it seems like it has something to do with you, but it actually doesn't have almost anything, if not nothing, to do with you whatsoever, and everything to do with them and their internal state. And there's an example I like to use in this situation where you're walking down the street and you pass by two people. The first person gives you a compliment. They say, "Hey, love your shirt," or whatever they say. And you don't immediately think, or it's usually more so something that was a bad example, something about your personality, like, "Hey, you have an amazing smile." They're like, "Wow, thanks." And you don't typically immediately go to the thought, "Wow, what did I do to deserve that?" Like, you don't put the onus on yourself, you put the onus on them and think like, "Wow, that was so nice of them to say. They must be a really happy person, or they must be in a really good mood." So the onus is on them when they give you a compliment. But then say you keep walking and someone walks past you and insults you. They say, "Hey, you have really ugly hands." All of a sudden, you don't immediately think like, "Oh, they must be kind of a mean person or must be in a really bad mood." All of a sudden, you put the onus on you and think like, "Oh my God, are my hands ugly?" Like, you start getting self-conscious. You start putting all of the onus on yourself. Go back to the first situation. the onus was on them. You start thinking, wow, they're such a nice person, in such a good mood, spreading love, joy, whatever. And then in the second situation where the person insults you, you immediately think to yourself, or at least, this is what I do. I haven't experienced anyone else. I'm talking about my experience, but I think a lot of people can relate to this. So when someone insults you, you don't think, oh, they must be, kind of a mean person, or they must be going through some really tough shit in their life right now, or they must just be in a really bad mood, even though in both situations, it doesn't have to do with you and it has to do with them. So in the first situation where someone compliments you, hey, love your smile, they're clearly in a really good mood, spreading love, positivity. In the second example, it's also about them. They're in a bad mood. They've been through some shit. They're just kind of a mean person. And they're trying to spread that hate and anger into the world. And the universe is a reflection of your internal state. So if someone is angry and bitter inside, they're going to spread that out, sometimes very poignantly. Poignantly, is that the right word? I don't know. Like specifically, like in a very direct way, where they insult someone as opposed to just like their energy, sort of vibrational feeling going out, if that makes sense. So at the end of the day, if someone says something like that, or whether they compliment you or insult you, it has nothing to do with you, everything to do with them and their internal state. So when this comes to hate or mean people, it has to do with them. It doesn't have to do with you. So yeah, all you can do is feel empathy towards them. They say, "Oh, your hands are really ugly." I don't know why I used hands as the example. It's just interesting example. Oh well. So they say, "Oh, your hands are so ugly." All they're really saying is, "I'm unhappy." They're walking past you and they're saying, it could be translated as, "I'm unhappy." So important to keep that in mind. And just to keep in mind that, like I started this episode with, super successful, happy people aren't spending any time insulting people, going on social media, Facebook, Instagram posts, tweets, TikTok, in other people's comment sections, commenting something negative. Even anyone who isn't like, an Elon Musk, The Rock, Oprah, like I mentioned, anyone who has a normal looking profile almost never does this. Like if you go through posts and look at all of the mean comments on shit and all the hateful comments, 99.9% of the time, it's someone with no username, no profile picture, a troll, an internet troll. People who have actual profile pictures and their names tied to the account are rarely posting negativity and hate. So it's still, because I go through it, I still feel when I see something that's negative, like there are times when I take it too seriously. So I understand it and I know that it's easier said than done for sure, but it's important to keep these things in mind, that all they're saying is, I'm unhappy, I'm hurt, I've been through shit, and I'm trying to spread this negativity around. And they, you know, as I mentioned already like 5 times, happy, successful people aren't going around spreading hate. People who are bored, who have nothing going on in their lives, who are hurting, who are in pain, who are angry, those are the people going around posting mean shit, spreading negativity. And even people, in the street, or people in your circle, potentially some friends, if they're negative a lot of the time, like you're trying to be your true self, you're putting yourself out there, you're starting to post on social media or something, and they're like talking shit about you, odds are they want to be doing exactly what you're doing, and they're too scared, and they're spreading their insecurity about that through trying to bring you down. And all they're doing is spreading and displaying their own insecurities onto you. So, in summary, this was, I don't know, kind of a quick one. I'm trying to think if I have anything else. Oh, there's one other thing I wanted to talk about was like just today. I was thinking I was walking through New York. I moved back into New York. I got an apartment in West Village area, so this is it behind me, sitting here now. But I was walking. I walk a lot, and I was just thinking like nobody gives a fuck about what I'm doing walking around here. Like I could do anything. I could like army crawl down the sidewalk and 99% of people wouldn't give a fuck, or at least like 90, 95%. And then the few who do, all they're doing is, if they are like judging me, it's simply a reflection of their internal state. So either way, I have nothing to lose myself. If someone doesn't give a fuck, they don't give a fuck. And that's most people, like by far majority of people. And then those few who are like, oh, wow, what a weirdo. Like, what a strange person. It's like, they're just insecure inside. And that's all. That's all it ever is. So walk around, do some weird shit in the street. Not too weird, but kind of weird, just enough to like break down some uncomfortability. Go out. Shit, I just hit my microphone. Hopefully, I didn't hurt anyone's ears. Go a little bit outside of your comfort zone and realize that no one gives a fuck. So you have nothing to lose. Like, no one cares about what you do, whether you succeed or whether you fail. This is kind of off topic from how to deal with hate, but I just wanted to share that last little part. So hopefully this helped put some things into perspective. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did enjoy it, toss it a like. If you're on YouTube and that little subscribe button is still red and not gray, just take a second and tap it. If you made it this far, might as well, right? So anyway, hope you enjoyed it and hope you have a great rest of your day. Talk to you later. Peace.